Naraban Saidati Visadati. Bonjour, ça va? Nous sommes les Smurfinators. Wir sind das NATO-Team here in Project Mercury. We welcome you to our presentation. I think you already got a slight taste that our presentation is different, that we are a different team, and to be precise, 31 times different. That is why we gave us the name. Different, but sharing a same set of values and a mindset. We are stronger together, and we win as a team. Welcome to our world. Welcome to Allied Command Transformation. Welcome to the place where NATO thinks it thinks the future. Welcome, in fact, to a world in silos. Living in a silo world, I could give you an example what it means living in this risk-averse silo world. I give you an example. I work for a French 4-star. Whenever he needs classified information, I have to print it because, of course, there's no such thing like a reader, a tablet, etc., etc. That means I print it, I run to the printer, I log in, I confirm for the first time, I confirm for a second time that I'm sure that I want to print classified information. I wait, I receive the document, I start over because I forgot that the default setting is print two-sided, my general loves one-sided. So I do it start over again, because for a second time, there's a second default setting you have to change manually, black and white printing. Nobody likes it, but it's there. Finally, I got my hard copy, I run downstairs to the registry, wait until it's manually registered, and then move on. I could talk really for another 5 minutes as we got added new rules almost every month. But I think you got the key message. We have outdated processes and procedures that do not support a secure and safe environment, but in fact, ridicule it. About the recent leak of Pentagon papers, I think I don't have to leave any word. As I just said, one example, and I'm not alone. We got 3 key messages out of our survey. 1, information access is hampered, talking about classification or even where to find information at the right place at the right time. 2nd, reasons are technology, processes, and culture. And 3, duty to share is absolutely key. Hence, our guiding question and our goal are simple. How to change the culture at Allied Command Transformation in order to push us towards duty to share as a mindset and as a policy.
So where are we now and what's next? We are on the brink of step 3, which is bolstered by the interviews and the experiments that we did. And following our assessment, it's clear that top-down approaches fail every single time. So we propose to change within the existing rules and to start a bottom-up movement supported with the following campaign. So this is our Boost Palooza campaign. Okay, always welcome to join. It's a way to visualize the change in culture and mindset that we want to do and to convert our culture to a culture to share. But what is Boost Palooza exactly? We chose the image of a sort of energy drink. Of course, we're completely compliant with the FDA regulations because we are in the US. We can give you the nutrition slide if you need to. What is Boost Palooza mainly about is what can you do for me, for all, for us to improve the sharing culture in our organization. It's about tackling unnecessary overclassification. It's about stimulating a pragmatic process to sharing, which of course is caring. It's a reflection on a common sense of trust. It's enabling a more effective communication flow. And what it can do is actually a bottom-up approach within the existing rules, because top-down rule changes actually don't work.
I know this scheme looks more like a manual to the Maze skateboard, but in fact, it's our road to success towards duty to share. It reflects 4 key messages to achieve real change. First, we trust each other. Second, we start bottom up. We change within the rules first, and we are agile in our hearts and minds. With these key messages in mind, we confronted our leadership with the following video clip stating that they, the leadership, always do only the talk. Change the rules, need to share is important, we need a new mindset, etc., etc. But they never do the walk, which is nothing else, in our opinion, as a lack of mission command. Please watch the quick sum up we presented to our leadership.
Sharing information within NATO, what can be improved? How does the current process look like for sharing information? First of all, the information is in a closed system and is overclassified. The information is hard to access and it's hard to share. And why this might be a weakness. As a knowledge-driven organization, having a cumbersome process for sharing information means less efficient work. And later information sharing, some information is available exclusively in the office, and information communication is very strictly regulated. For example, Ralph needs to go through a process of printing and then registering each and every document that he wants to communicate to his superior, meaning tens of documents a day. The good part is the people within an organization that drive the processes and rules. Can we improve? Always apply these principles: duty to share, confidence in the concept, be agile, and outpace mission command. And please always remember that sharing is caring. Please don't hoard information. You can help us in becoming a better knowledge organization.
So, as we said, we did the talk many times already in NATO. Now let's walk the talk. We are NATO, we live mission command, we win as a team, and in fact with Boost Palooza. Join us. Cheers.
Cheers.
I love it. I'm going to go have to check the shelves for my can of Boostapalooza. So great work, Smurfinators. It's time for the judges' comments and questions. And Dr. Deer, we're going to let you kick it off. Now we have 10 minutes for questions. So again, we can be active in the chat here and then on the screen. So Dr. Deer, we'll let you kick it off.
Well, thank you, team. Again, you've identified, it's clear, a real problem. So definitely you win all the points on that. What I wasn't clear on is you defining the problem as ultimately about culture and mindset. But if you look at any of these problems, there are some real reasons for why this overclassification exists. And what would be lost if you were to have oversharing? So any insight into that will serve you in developing your solution in terms of what processes or approach you used in terms of journey mapping, deeper insight into customers, 360 interviews with stakeholders who are in favor of overclassification or who in their red color are concerned about the dangers and the downside of sharing information that doesn't need to be shared. Can you share what process you use to better identify the challenges and the obstacles to why overclassification exists?
Sure, sir. Thank you very much. So the first thing, our service, our interviews, in fact, reflected the example I gave you, and there are multiple different blocks in our roads on the way forward. And I would like to relate to the group that presented before. If even the United States as one nation faces this problem, think about 31 nations. It makes it even more difficult. And that is the reason why we said, okay, top-down approaches failed multiple times in our organization again and again and again. It's not only a question about the military. We are a political organization and we need 31 nations on the table to agree to a certain thing and make a certain decision. And that is the reason why we decided, okay, to address this red part of the challenge, we start our change within existing rules. Because as we are 31 nations, the rules we have are quite generic and are able or offer room for improvement. So by identifying the rules we have, reflect how much flexibility we have, and connect it to the culture of the people, I think we have an approach where we can do a first step. But as we stated, this part of the project is not to change the rules, but change within the rules with flexibility, with trust, and with the mindset that we are lacking at the moment.
And I can add on that, sir, that like Peter, like Ralph says, the rules are so broad that actually it's most likely the interpretation and the very risk averseness of a lot of people that make basically information that should be readily accessible, like unclassified information, actually difficult to access. I have a top secret, NATO secret clearance, sorry, but I am blocked by silos. I cannot read unclassified information when it's stored in some kind of information system. These are not things that are expressed in rules. It's basically the people who design these systems and who work in these systems that don't think about the need to share. Over.
Thank you. I have just one follow-up question and obviously open it up for others. You know, often when you have challenges like this, culture and mindset is always in play. The challenge of using culture and mindset change as a high quality target is it becomes very difficult to measure success. What metrics, as you run this experiment to inform your future solutions, what metrics will you use to make sure that you are having the impact that you desire?
I can actually, one of the experiments that we did was a interview. One of the interviews we did with our data scientists. We actually have a sort of AI system that is scanning documents and trying to identify relevant information. We looked into the breakdown of the number of documents that were stored in the system and their classification, and this could actually become a KPI. The number of documents that are actually living within a secret system that are unclassified, it's actually a very high volume, which I will not explain here. But this could be a very interesting metric to see if people, because actually it's actually the people who produce this document who decide in which system it should live, and they have a choice. They could even do it in a normal unclassified system, but they still do it for the moment in the secret system because it's their by default way of doing business. So this could be a very easy metric for us.
And the other thing, sir, is most of our generals still like to use a messenger like WhatsApp to communicate with each other on their smartphones, private phones, business phones, computers, and so on. So NATO, at this point of time, doesn't have a messenger system to communicate at least to an unclassified level, which in our definition is already a certain level of classification. In fact, they are failing to their own rules. So what did we do? And this experiment is just running and shows us the first successes. So we created now a messenger as a minimum viable product, introduced it to the command group of our organization, and offered them a system that is in quality and quantity working like WhatsApp, Signal, or whatsoever, running on our own servers, but they can communicate officially to the level of NATO unclassified. So that is an experiment that is still ongoing, but it's already distributed to a certain number of people within the organization. And the supporting staff of our 4-star general is already using it for 6 weeks now. Over.
Thank you. I love the specificity of one of your metrics, which is obviously the quantity of classified documents, and also a very specific experiment you're running, which will inform your solution. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was really done. This is really well done, and I appreciate it. I love all the chatter that's going on in there in the chat. And again, we will have breakout rooms later on that you can ask these questions and have these conversations, because these are good discussions we're having.